Yeah, good day everyone. Welcome to today's tutorial. I hope you are good. In today's tutorial, we will be talking, we'll just be modeling a, what do we call it, a table on our object mode. We won't be going to edit mode today. I just want to give you some simple shortcuts, how to scale, how to move, how to scale on y-axis, z-axis, and other things like that. So we'll not be using our object edit mode or going to sculptor today. So let's, without any further ado, so let's start the class. So as you know, this is what you will see in your Blender, and you just out click and you will see your cube, which is also known as your mesh. You can delete it. It's always good to delete it. Yeah, so you can delete it and bring your what do we call it, your mesh, by pressing shift A. So I just want to use, I should have used plane, or I may use plane and I may use cube. It depends on what I want to use. It depends on you. So if you are using plane, definitely you'll be moving to edit to what do you call it, edit mode. But let's use cube so that we can only scale inward and outward. So we will not be using extrude or other things tools in edit mode. So because we want to stick to object mode today. So let me, you go here, mesh, and go to your cube. You see our cube is back. Yeah, one of those reasons why I felt that we used to delete the cube is because when I bring out my cube newly, I saw this thing pop up, so I can adjust the size, rotation. It's not that you cannot do it even if it is, but I think it's always good when you delete your first cube here. I can't, I don't know the reason why, but I believe that's what most modelers used to do. Yeah, it's not that you cannot use the default cube, you can. But so now you will now you have your cube. So you can move to your x-axis by pressing numpad 3 on your extension keyboard. So I told you that it's always good as a Blender user, or whoever wants to do animation using Blender, you must always have an extension keyboard, because your normal keyboard, there's a medium one that doesn't have the extension of what we call numpad. You will see at the right hand there's another keys that is a number keys. So they are number keys. Do you understand? So they are number keys, apart from the one that is always at the top after your F1 and the rest like that. So there's always another one, numpad keys. Those are very, very relevant when you are working in your Blender. So you must have it. You must always, if you don't have, you can go and buy, or you go and borrow an extended keyboard, external keyboard. So I'll press my 3. Okay, I'll press my 3. You can see I have my x-axis. So I want to move up. I want to move this cube up, because see, you can see that it's lower than our ground. Is lower than our ground, so we just want to move it up above the ground. Do you understand? So you can press your numpad 3 to move to x-axis. You can see that's the face, or you come here. If you don't even have your keyboard, external keyboard, you can always toggle it from here. Just press your X, it's going to come down there. Do you understand? This minus, just press your X, make sure you are on your X. So you can always do that. But you know, if you have a work to quickly work on, you can't just be toggling here and there. So it will be good if you have a shortcut. So what you want to do is G. You want to press your G. Make sure that this cube is selected. You press your G. Yes, your G. That's G means G is a short, is a, we call it grab. Yes, G is for grabbing your mesh. You want to move your mesh. G is for moving. So you can see when I press G, excuse me, when I press G, you can see I can move my what do we call it, my mesh. Now my cube is moving. So what I will do is now it now depends on which axis am I taking it to. I told you that we have the z axis is up and down. Yes, up and down. It's always in a line of blue. Yes, let me drop this. You can see this line here. That's our what do we call it? That's our z axis. So this one is our y axis. So if I come down here, we have up here, up like this. If you want to move up, is your what? The blue line. No, you can't see it now unless you move down to your x-axis. So up like this is going to, for instance, if I press my G and press Z, you can see the line comes up. That's it, top up. That's like the blue line. So I can move my mesh up. So if I press G and move in x-axis, that's the red line. It's always red. You can see even toggling it from here, you can see that it's always red, while your y is always yellow. So that's your yellow line. So let's go back to our x. You can come down here and GZ, you want to move it above the ground. So now that's that. So we want to make a table. Do you understand? Just a simple table. That's what one wants to do. I will just have to do what? I want to scale in y-axis. That's your scale is x. You press S for scaling, then in z-axis, then you press Z. So you will see that it's scaling on z-axis. So you can see that's your z-axis. I scale it inward. From the top, I bring it down. So that's it. So go to your y. So now what I want to do is this is too thick, so I can still scale in z-axis. I want it to be a little bit tiny. Let me see. Okay, we are forming a table, right? So just a simple table. Not we are not going deep into forming a big table and an expensive, let me use that way, as an expensive table. We just want to do form a simple table. Now that, so what I want to do is that, because I still want it more bigger than this, so what you will do is you can press S. So if you press X and Shift Z, I press S and I press Shift and Z, so I can scale it in all axes. You can see the axis. This is Z axis, this is Y axis, so it can be scaled in that part. So that's that. So you just left click. So when you are done, when you are okay with it, so what did I want to do again? I think I think we are good with this, because it's a simple table we are making. It's a simple table. So what we want to do again, go to your notepad 3 so that we can have that. So you can bring another mesh, Shift A for another mesh. I'm sorry if I'm too fast, because I just want this, I don't want this what do we call it, this video to be too long. I want to make it short, since we are not really doing much. That's why I'm being fast. But when we are working in edit mode and using texture, I'll make sure that I go into details for you to be able to understand, because those ones are complex one. If you don't really understand those ones, that's wahala. So but you need to understand the basic. That, and this is the basic we are doing here. If you understand your scaling, your, what do we call it, your scaling, your moving, your rotation key, and which other one, your rotation, your scaling, your moving, x-axis, z-axis, and the rest like that. So when we get to other parts, then you begin to understand them little by little. So now let's bring our another cube here. So let's make it okay, let's make it on our z axis. Let's scale it in y axis. Scale in y axis so that we can have the leg. We want to work on the leg. Let's be tiny like this. So let's go to our y. Yes, that's our y. So scale again in y, in z axis rather, in x axis, x not z, please, in x axis. So let's bring it down. I think we are good. So we are forming a table leg. Let me still make this a little bit come out. Scale in as my x axis. I want to scale it in y. I want to bring it out a little. I think I'm good, so that I can have a good leg towards the table. So now what you now do is press your G to move in Z axis. So G plus Z to move up a little, then G plus Y to move sideways. Just make sure that exactly. So that's it. So we still have it to come to the edge here. We want it to come to the edge here. So that's minus y. So you can yet press and sorry. I mean, when you press 1, it depends on your location, rotation. It depends on your axis. So 1 is for minus y axis on my own blender, and control 1 numpad, control numpad 1 is my y axis. So I want to move this to the edge. G plus x, G plus x, G plus x. Then I'm moving to the edge. Okay, I think I'm good here. So what I will do is I'll duplicate it. Let me come back to my minus y. I will duplicate it by shift. You press shift plus D to duplicate. Make sure you click on that what you want to duplicate. Make sure you're on that mesh. Then shift plus D to duplicate. It's already duplicated. You can see it has already been duplicated. So I will just right click to let it come back. Then I'll press G plus plus X axis to move it to the sideways here. I hope we are getting it, please. Can drop a question in the classroom. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So now I want to make sure that both of them, I will now go to my y axis now. I'll go to my minus x axis. That's control plus 3. So what you will do first is make sure you select both of them, because you want to duplicate both of them at the same time. So you have click on this, and then you will now hold down your shift, then click on the second one, then now go to your x axis. Then what you do is shift D. It has already been duplicated. Shift D, then hold it back by right clicking. Then what you do is G plus Y. Then you move them to the edges here. Super simple like that. Okay, Just make sure that the edges are of the same. You can see we have our table and leg all together. So now this is your table here. This is just a simple way of modeling on object mode. We are on object mode, because if we go to edit mode, that's more advanced. That's where we'll be working more on our mesh, our faces, our vertices, and our edges. But because we are just starting, I want you to understand the basic thing of all the old how to move, how to scale, and the rest like that. Okay, so this is just our little table. This is just our little table. This is our little table, and I want to just make a ground, a plain ground for it. What you will do is Shift A to bring a mesh, plane, just plane. So let me go back to my x-axis by pressing notepad 3. So even my table is not on the surface. The leg is above the ground, as in is beneath the ground. So I'll still need to move them up. So but let me scale this up first. My what do we call it? My ground, that's my plane. That's by pressing only X for scaling. Just continue to press the X for scaling, so you can have your plane. Let's see what it has given us. So that's that. You can see you have your plane here. So I want to duplicate, I want to move this up. So I can, because this now for me to begin to select one after the other by holding Shift, click on this one, click on this one, click on this one, click on this one, and start moving. I'll now start moving. I'll start moving. Sorry, I've click on this. Okay, click on this one, hold Shift, click on this, click on this, click on this, and click on this. You see, it's a little bit strenuous. So, but what I will do is I will just hide this plane here by pressing H for hiding. So I've hidden my mesh, my plane. So what I will now do is I will now press A for all. So don't mind this camera that is also, that's why we always delete them. Don't mind the camera that is also, and the light is also, excuse me, A. So just make sure the camera and the lights are excluded. What I'm doing is just that I hold down my Shift and I'm clicking on them. I hold my Shift down and I click on them twice. So I hold my Shift and I click on them so that I will uncheck them. So now what I will do, go back to my x-axis, then GZ to move up, so that it can be on that line, on that X, that's that red line. So let it be touching it. Then I have it. Then Alt plus H to unhide my mesh. Alt plus H to unhide. So that's it. I brought it there back. You can see it's here now. You can see this is our table. This is our table. You can see this is our table. This is our table. So I will have said we should add what we call it. We should add our materials and other things. But for this class, I'll keep it simple. Tomorrow we are going to work on this same table, but we'll be working on it on edit mode. So you are going to tell me in the question and answer class which one is more easier, in both doing it here or doing it in the edit mode. So that will be the question and answer. Me, I will throw the question to you, so you'll be the one to give me an answer. Oh, this one is much easier. Oh, this one is more strenuous, and the rest like that. So that's that for that. So I still want to work more on this on this table. I can just bring some plane and the rest like that, but let me quickly do that now. So I just want to make it a something like a desk, you understand, not just ordinary a table like that. So I can just click on this and shift D to duplicate. Yes, it has been duplicated. Then I will right click outside. Then what I will do is I want to rotate it. So R for rotation. That's, you can see it's rotating. So, but you will need to rotate it in the axis where you want it to be rotated. Is it in Z axis? Is it Y axis? Is it X axis? So after pressing my R, I'll just do maybe it is X. Yes, X axis. Okay, I think let me rotate it in Y axis. Yes, Y axis like this. Then what I will do is I'll press 90 so that it will be standing. You can see them. Left click. You can see what we are having here. So what I will now do is, because I'll still scale it downward and the rest. So let me go back to my my Z. Let me go to my notepad 7. Sorry, I wanted to go to my X rather, so I will be able to scale it inward. That's X plus Z. X plus Z. Are you getting it? X plus Z. Now that's what we have here. So what I want to do is I'll go to my Y. Then I want to move it aside. Then what I'll press is G plus X. So I'll move it down here. Then what I will do is G plus Z. So move it down a little bit so that it can be here. So I want to form something. So let me press S Shift Z, so that I just want to bring it down a little bit. So I want to form just a desk. Are we getting it? So I still want it to come down to cover the whole place like this. So let me come to my Y. No, it's not going to be Y. Z. So X rather. So what I will do is Shift S plus Shift plus Z. So excuse me, S plus Shift plus Z. So you press it twice. You press your Z twice. Oh, it's still not giving me. S plus Z. Yeah, S plus Z. So now you can now bring it down. Let me go to my X axis. So I want to bring it down by G plus Z. Let me just put it here. Yeah. So that's that for that. And you can just duplicate. If you want to cover the whole places here, you can do that. Okay, let me quickly cover them. What I will do is go back to my Y axis and I will duplicate this Shift D to duplicate, then G and X axis, G in X axis. Sorry, excuse me, undo. I'm not duplicating it in that area. I want to duplicate it sideways like this. So what you do is Shift D, then rotate in X axis 90. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Rotate in Z axis. Let me see, Z axis 90. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So after then, what you now do is you will now G. So let me come to my minus. Let me come to my Y here. So G plus X so I want to move it forward now. Then what I will do is G plus Y, G plus Y to move it, because I want to cover the back, something like this. And I want to do Shift D again, then to Y axis, move to the to this side. Yeah, you can see what we have in here now. I hope you are enjoying the class. Yeah, so now click on this. I think I still need to move it inward a little bit so that it will be aligned with this leg. So G plus Y, I want it aligned with the leg. Okay, yeah, I'm good with this. Let me see this one's also okay. It's coming out a little bit. G, Y, and let me see. All right, so now I'm good with this. Now if I want to form a desk here, something like a drawer, though it will be good if we do it in what do we call it, in our edit mode, but let's see how we can form it here on our what do we call it, in our object mode without going to edit mode. Let's see, let's try Shift A. So let me come to X axis, Shift A. I'll be using, let me use cube also. Scale in X axis, in Z axis, scale inward. Okay, and then scale in Y axis. So I think I'm good with that. So I still need to scale in X axis so that it won't be too big. So now what I want to do is then on my X axis, move up, G plus Z, move up. Let's see. Then I want to move it down to the front. Then G plus Y. Sorry, G plus X. So now I hope you are getting it. G plus Y. So let it come to this side. So now what I use to pan around is I hold down my shift and the wheel of my what do we call it, of my mouse, so I can pan around. Do you understand? So I hold down shift and hold down my wheel I click on it and begins to move my mouse. So that's how to do that. So now let me take it in G X. I want it aligned to the stuff. GZ a little so that it can go up. Okay. You can see. So as it is now, if we really want to work on it, we will need to go to edit mode and begins to extrude, begins to use insert or bevel like that. But for now, I can just duplicate this. If it's too big, let me just do something. Let me scale it downward a little bit. Scale S plus Z. So to make it, yeah. Then G plus Z up. Yeah. So what I will do is Shift D to duplicate, then press Z to move downward. So cannot just have. So don't mind it now. It's not. You can't say. I'm just giving you the tips and on how to use our shortcuts and all those things. So then I can duplicate this if I want to have three desks. So what I will do is Shift D again. Then I press Z to move downward again. To move downward. Okay. I think we are good. Can't you see? I think we are good now. You can see our desk. Now I can just put something like something that you can undo here. What can we use to form our undo? Okay, let's Shift plus A. Should we use V? Okay. Let me use cylinder first. Let's see what cylinder will give us. This is my cylinder. What I want to do is I want to scale it first. Scale. Let me use scale in all axes. Yes, in all axes. Yeah. So I still want to scale again in all axes. I want it tiny. Yeah. So now let me go to my X, number 3. So you scale down. So you scale down, scale it down, let it be a little bit smaller. Then you can bring up G up. Then once to rotate, first of all, let's bring it out G in X-axis. In X-axis, we are bringing it to the front. So let's see G in X-axis. So once to rotate R Z, let me see, 90. Okay, excuse me, R X 90. Yes, R X 90. So what I will do now is G plus Y, so that I can move it here. Then G plus Z to move it up a little bit. Then what I will do now is G plus X to move it backward a little bit. Let me see. Okay, so you can see that it's forming something like our handle here. We just don't want to go to edit mode. It will have been easier. It may be easier, but we don't want to go to edit mode, to extrude, to do a lot of things. So now what I will do now is Shift D, then I move in Z axis, bring it down, then Shift D again, Z axis, move, bring it down, Yeah, we form our desk. Oh wow, what a beautiful desk. All right. So these are desks. You know what you will do? So this is going to be your assignment, which you need to submit by tomorrow class. Before we start tomorrow class, I want to start seeing your model in the. I will create an assignment group now. I'll send the link down and I want everybody to join. That's where you always send your assignment. Please and please, in that assignment class, I don't want discussion. Write your name under it. Oh, this is my name, and so tag your name to your object, to your model. Please tag your name to your model. And I don't want discussion there, please. I don't want discussion. It's fully an assignment class. So in the question and answer class, that's where you'll be asking question, please. That's where you'll be asking question. So I hope we are good. So this is where we'll stop for today. Now, if you want to render this, we may not be talking about the lights, the camera now, but let me just teach you the basic aspect of it. Now, this is our camera here. When you click on your camera, this is where your camera is facing. So you press N on your keyboard. Excuse me, not N. N on your keyboard, it will bring out this. Then go to your view. Then you see camera to view. Camera to view. So you want to lock it. Then you lock it. Then you pan around. So you can pan around. You can just move it. So shift your mouse and shift and your mouse wheel. Click on it and drag up so that it can capture what you really want. Yes, you can see it captured it. It has captured it. Now, this is what you are going to do for me. So that's today's class. That's for today's class. I hope you will be prepared for tomorrow class, and I hope you are enjoying the class. If you are enjoying the class, please just I want your reaction. You can put it in question and answer class and say, oh, so that today's class I enjoy it. Oh wow. And if you don't really understand anything, please just make it in question and answer class so that I can really explain some of those things you need to know. Now, to quick render, okay, you can press when you are done with everything, just press your Control F12 to render. Now, there's something I did not really talk about before we render. All this mesh, now we have not shade smooth it. So in the next class we'll talk more on that. So what you will do now is just press your just press your F12 to quick render. So it's going to render. So you can see the lighting and the stuff. Though we are not talking about lighting today, that's why you are seeing this lighting. Okay, before then, let me quickly set up my lights. But today is not lightning class. Let me go back to my render mode. Okay, so it's already my. So whatever thing you are seeing here, so if you render from this side and you think this is how it will show, you are only deceiving yourself. This is whatever things you see in this render preview. That is what is going to render for you. That is why we have this. You can see they are the same. So you have to set up your light, but I will not be talking much on light today. But for this class, so that we can have a good look, I can bring another light or use this same light here. Let me just click on the light. I can use G to move. Yeah, let me just bring it down here. Yes. See, it is not good enough. Let me see. Okay, what I will do is I will delete it. You can delete it, X for deleting. So anytime you want to delete, X is for deleting, X, just ordinary X for deleting. Then I'll bring my another new light. So I will make it an area light. Light here, area light. Do you understand? So here I will scale up a little bit. Then I will bring it up, G. I use S to scale, then G up a little bit. What I want to do is that I want it to face the soft stuff. So I will rotate it, that's R, rotate in Y axis 90. So now it's rotated, then I'll do G plus X to move backward so that I can be pointing on the what do we call it, on the stuff. So you can see that you are still not seeing it. It's because the light here is very, very low. So you will come back, click on the light, then come to this thing that look like bulb, that look like your house bulb, bulb rather. So click on it, then you see this is where you can make an adjustment to your light. So you can just increase this power. Let me put it 1000. Boom. You can see. See what it's giving us. So but I want to make it to be able to see it through very well. So I can move it up. Yes, can move it up and adjust this thing here. I can just bring it down so that I can be pointing. Yeah, so that I can be pointing. So that I can be pointing at my, just adjust it. So if the light is too much, you can reduce it. Let me use 1500. Yeah, I think the light is becoming more. The major thing is I want to see all the stuff. G, X. You know, today is not a light day, so I will just be doing a quick rendering for you. So we are not really talking about light. So now, if I press my F12 again, let's see. Okay, the last one I'm doing. Okay, this is the new one here. You can see what it has given me. So this is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. Then you do what? You press your save. You go to your image here. Then go to your save as. Then you name it. Oh, my desk. You can put my desk. My desk. Excuse me. It's not even here. My desk. My desk. Then just save it in the file you know you want to save it to. Let me put it in my quick rendering. Save it in PNG. Save. Bam. So go to your where you save it. You will see it there. Just go to your file. My picture. Where's my picture? Then I have render. Not. Yeah, it's here. Thank God I found it. So it's here. You can see. Then you can view it. See how it looks like. You can see this is my desk. You can see this is my desk. Excuse me. You can see this is my desk. Oh, excuse me. You can see this is my desk. So this is what I want to see from you. We meet in the next class. Thank you.